Hi, this is Julia Carty. I'm Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and we are here tonight I'm here with Lindsay Russell.
Hi.
Okay. Yes, we're going to get this going. It's Leadership Basics 201. And so we are so excited to just talk to you tonight about leadership for just kind of the stage of maybe your seasoned silver ambassador, gold, senior gold. You have a team, but you're kind of thinking, how do you lead this team to success?
Right. Okay. So the first thing, if you guys have not seen 101, I would love for you to go back and watch that because it kind of gives the foundation of where we get this idea from and how to break it out into these chunks and kind of figuring out which bucket you're in and which bucket your team is in. And so the Basics 101 is a great place to go back and get started. And kind of like just a quick summary of how we got this idea started is a parenting class that I was going through, and it broke down the seasons of parenting. You got your kind of like we did our Basics 101, you've got your disciplines, your basic things that you do over and over again. You're getting those foundations and disciplines in place. And then this one is partially, I've got my notes in front of me, but it's kind of ages 6 to 12. And they call it the training stages because and it talks about if you didn't discipline well in the younger ages, you can still get things done. It'll just take a little bit longer. So that's why I reiterate, you really want to go back and watch 101. But it talks a lot about teaching the moral reason why we do the things that we do, modeling behavior before them because they're really catching on to things. And it's such a good parallel for us and our teams because they're really modeling our behavior. Always encouraging like positive reinforcement, encouraging the right behavior instead of discouraging things that they're doing wrong. And I love this part. It's probably one of my favorite ones. The best training happens in non-conflict situations. Don't wait until something happens to train on it or teach about it. Do it beforehand. And so that's kind of how we got the idea of this Basics 201.
And so we're going to be covering 3 different areas: discipline, culture, and character. And we really feel with these 3 areas, we're going to cover pretty much everything you need to know to lead your team.
Okay. What I love about the discipline part is, I know for me, I do so much better as a leader when I'm actually doing the work that I'm encouraging and teaching and training my team to do. So that's kind of why we get this graphic kind of in the trenches. If you're a boss, you're kind of telling everybody what to do, but like John Maxwell says, a leader doesn't say, you go do this. It says, let's do this. Let's do this together. And when you're in the trenches and we say in the trenches doing the work, but when you are really doing your 5-3-1, when you're reaching out to people, when you're following up with the customers, when you're getting a new customer on board, you are there with your team. You're not just saying, let's go do this. You're actually doing it. They're seeing you add new people on your team page. They're seeing you post consistently. They're seeing you get new ideas for how to follow up. And when a special comes up, like the trim up right now that's going on, you can give them ideas on what's working with you, with your people that you're signing up, because you're actually doing that. You're in the trenches with them. So this most basic part about discipline is being self-disciplined and doing these things first.
And y'all, I love this quote by John Maxwell. It says, motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. That's the law of consistency. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how many opportunities you receive. If you want to grow, consistency is key. And I see this over and over with our team. I'll get someone new and they're so excited and they get rolling and maybe they're adding people or they're just posting consistently. And then sometimes that motivation, that excitement sometimes fades and their consistency fades. And then they stop growing. But then I see others who are just consistent day in, day out, and doing the things that we're about to talk about, doing those basic, simple steps over and over. And that's what creates growth. So I feel like this quote right here really is just perfect for us in Plexus because it shows that just the importance of consistency and just the everyday disciplines that we have here. So these are kind of the 4 disciplines we have here in Plexus and on our team. So I was going to talk about products.
Okay, and so how we broke this down is kind of how whether you have a team of 20 that are all wholesale ambassadors, or if you have a team of 4 that are working the business, or if you just have you and one person working the business that's silver with you. We try to kind of separate this where you could see how you could do the disciplines for you and your daily work, and then how you can do it with your team too. So products, obviously, when we know we have to be a product of the product. We have to take our products the right way. We take them every day. Try new products. If there's something you can't take, for example, I'm nursing, so I take pretty much everything except for Accelerator and Boost. And guess what? My husband and my brother take those. So I have the things that I can't take, I have my family on them. So I have different family members that take different things, and I can help my teammates and my customers with ideas on how to take the stuff that I'm not taking. So be a product of the product. Take your products every day. Find a regimen that works for you. Talk through when you're kind of like when we're talking about the trenches, when you're talking with different customers, you're finding different regimens that work for them. Share that with your team. It kind of transitions to how you do this with your team. Well, when you see really good video about Slim, share that product video with your team. You know, if you learn something neat about the green lip muscle, share that on your team page or with one of your customers or with one of your ambassadors that's working the business. Take what you're learning with yourself and just dump it into them, like whatever. And that's kind of the best way to learn, really, is to teach someone else. So be a product of the product and share product information with your team. That could be a product video, it could be an article, it could be something about the ingredients. So that's really basic, but that's kind of what that is learning about taking the products, being a product of the product, and then sharing that information with your team and team page and messages and one-on-one messages and group messages, anything like that. And Julia's got posting.
Okay, so posting, we always talk about, it's so important to stay consistent in your posting. You know, no matter if you're on vacation, you work full time, maybe, you know, you're going through a hard time. And guys, well, other than the working full time, all seasons I've been in. And, you know, I know that we talk about Buffer a good bit. Buffer is a great way to help you stay disciplined in your posting if you have a super busy life. Or if you work full time. But you have to stay consistent in posting, because when you post, what that communicates to your friends and family out there on Facebook world or Instagram world is that you're passionate about these products, that you are all in. Now, if you're only posting once a week or every few days, people are not going to realize how committed you are, how much you love these products, that you're taking them daily. Your team is going to do what you do, most likely. They're going to follow your lead. So if they see you're only posting every once in a while, guess what? Most likely your team is going to kind of slow down on their posting. You know, and as a Diamond Ambassador, I'll tell you, you know, my natural thoughts is, everyone knows I do Plexus. Like, why do I have to post every single day? I mean, everybody knows it. But guys, I can assure you that's A, not the truth, and B, posting consistently still works for me. Just this past weekend, I actually had a girl that I did not even know join my team. And I really believe it came from, I tagged my husband in my posts. So that's a good thing about posting, is tag your husband, tag your mom, tag your grandmother. You might even have some friends. I have some friends that don't do Plexus, probably never will. Maybe ask them, hey, do you mind if I tag you in this special, you know, just to broaden my network? You know, that is a way to make your posting just smart and reach bigger audiences. But even if you think everyone knows I do Plexus, you have to stay consistent, because it's more than just, oh, I'm posting every day. It's showing people that these products are part of your life, that this company is part of your life, and that you are excited. And again, you're going to hear me say that word excitement 50 times during this training, because excitement is contagious. And I truly believe that as a leader, you have to be excited about this. Another little scenario this weekend, I had a birthday lunch with my grandfather down in Florida, and my cousin, who's about my age, looked at me and said, you know, what are you doing these days? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like for a job, what do you do? Guys, granted, she's not on Facebook, but she's all over Instagram. She had no idea that I did Plexus full time. And, you know, I'm not super close with her, but I mean, I was floored. Even my husband was like, how does she not know? She follows you on social media. Because, guys, people, I'll tell you, I don't post on Instagram like I do Facebook. So it kind of triggered in my mind, I need to be posting more about my Plexus company, my business and the products on Instagram, because apparently my Instagram followers do not even know this is what we do full time. So that's very important. Also for your team. So, you want to create a discipline with your team. Now, you don't want to just go and scroll through all your teammates and say, hey, I went through your team page. I didn't see any posts last week. People are going to kind of think of you more as the boss. So you want to just give them action steps, ways for this to stay consistent. And, a couple of ways is, you can give them a list of people who follow. When someone joins my team, I always send them a list of like 4 or 5 names of people who kind of are their age or maybe in their same walk of life. Like if they're a stay-at-home mom or if they're a homeschooling mom or a work mom, I try to find people in that same genre, I guess. Give them a list and say, here are a few people that would be great for you to follow or friend so you can see their posts, so you can get ideas. That's encouraging your team to post and to post smart. Also, I love posting challenges. I think there's several different ways you can do this, but just real simple. If you notice that your team is not posting consistently, maybe next weekend say, okay, guys, we're going to have a posting challenge. And on Friday, everybody posts a selfie with their pink drink. On Saturday, everybody post your favorite product. And on Sunday, post, why you Plexus. Or you can even go deeper. We have lots of great ideas of how just to keep your team continually posting and making sure that it's exciting, they're fresh, they're genuine, they're original. I mean, you need to think about those words, and you need to make sure that you continue to post, you're posting smart for your team, and that you're giving them the tools and the activities that they need to stay disciplined in posting. Mm-hmm. So then we have 531. Do you have anything on posting, y'all, Rob?
Well, I was going to say that, I know that we have several, and we can share in the comments here, but if you need ideas or prompts on what to post on your team page or your personal page, we can post those in the comments, because sometimes you just need an idea to get your ball rolling, kind of like you need a person to follow to get your ideas rolling. And we can post those. I know that Mary Frances Stanford did this a long time ago, and I share this with people getting their team page going. Motivation Monday, Testimony Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Thankful Friday, doing shout outs on your team. Thankful Thursday, shout outs on Thursday, follow up, or Facebook tip Friday. So if that helps you get started, and then think of it the same thing I was just telling Julia earlier, having that same kind of prompt list for your personal post. So if it's kind of a dull day and you're like, okay, what is today? Today is, it's Thankful Thursday. Share a reason why I'm thankful for Plexus. Okay, easy, I can do that. Or Sample Saturdays. I can have a Facebook contest post on Saturday or something. Having that in the back of your mind. You don't have to use it every week, but it's always a good go-to. I like having something that's in your back pocket, kind of.
Right. Because posting should be the easiest, fastest part of your day, your Plexus day. This should not, I talk to people and they're like, Julia, I spent 30 minutes looking for a post every single morning. Guys, if that's your thing, you're not really getting it. And every once in a while, I'll spend more time on a post if I'm really specific and I know I want this really great post at key time at night. But for the most part, you do need those pocket posting. You need to be saving posts that you see people. I don't know if on Facebook you know that you can actually, if you see something I post and you love it, you can click save. The worst thing you can do is to post the same thing everyone in your network's posting. So, and I know we're all kind of guilty of that sometimes, but, we'll find these posts that go viral. And, I know I was thinking about the one of me in my new house. It's a great post. It was actually not even a Plexus post to begin with. When I first originally did it, some people kind of tweaked it, made it their own, but it's kind of gone viral, which is fine. But, if you see it, save it for a month later. Tweak it, make it your own. Don't, because that's going to make us look very unoriginal. It's going to make non-Plexus people kind of roll their eyes if they see 10 people with the same post in their news feed. So just keep that in mind, and that's a great lesson to kind of duplicate with your team too. Of follow these people, but make sure if they're in your network, you're spacing out those same posts. Okay, so we're going to go to 531, and this is kind of where, Lindsay was talking about the trenches. You've got to stay in the trenches with your team. And guys, as a diamond, as a top of the company, Lindsay and I both can tell you this is so important. We always, I always go back to Celeste Wynn's analogy of the running bathtub with the drain open. So that's kind of like your team. The drain is open, the water's going out, but you got to keep refilling the bathtub. That's kind of like your team, because people are not everyone's going to stay. We call them white lines. People are going to quit. People aren't going to be happy. But you've got to be always putting new ambassadors, new customers in your business. No matter where you are in the business, you'll never get to a place that you do not need to do 531. So if you're on this team, I know you know what that probably stands for. It's reach out to 5 new people a day, follow up with 3, and train 1. Now, this is going to look very different, and it's going to look very different in different stages. When you were in that, Leadership 101 stage, it probably was 531. I was reaching out to 5 people a day, follow up with 3, train 1. Now, I'll be honest, mine probably looks more like 2, 3, 10. Like I am kind of lopsided. I do train more, but the thing is, there has to be that first number. If you're doing 0, 2, 10, you're going to have an issue. And I'll tell you, I think that being gold, senior gold, ruby, that's kind of where people kind of fall into that trap, because they're so excited about their team member. And maybe you've recruited somebody that really wants a team, and you want to train, and you want to manage. And that, to me, that's the fun part. This is the part I enjoy with Plexus. But you cannot forego that first number, and that is reaching out to new people. So this is where self-discipline, it has to come. So find a system that works for you. Whether it's every Monday, you're going to reach out to all your people. As long as you can make sure they're genuine and they're original, and you're not just copying and pasting to 20 people, you can do it that way. I've done it that way before. I know if you need to write certain names on your calendar every day and who you're going to reach out to every day, do that. But, make sure you have that 100s list or 200 list or whatever, that Frank's list, and make sure you're continually reaching out to new people. You're following up, and following up when you tell people you're going to follow up. Because I'll tell you, as you start growing that team, sometimes I'm guilty of it. I'll say, okay, I'll follow up with you, and then 2 months later has passed and I haven't followed up with them. So this is really where discipline comes in. And then with your team, like Lindsay said, when your team sees you adding new people to the team page, that's going to create excitement. That's what's going to create momentum in your team. When they see, if you follow up with someone and you have some neat story, Facebook Live it and tell your team about it. I do that very often. And if you're training somebody, or maybe you're training yourself, you can duplicate that to a live your team. So just make sure your team understands 531. Make sure they all have a system. If they come to you and say, I want to work this business, it is your responsibility to make sure they understand that 531 truly is how to succeed in this business. So, Lindsay, do you have anything
so great.
in 531?
I think as far as just with your team, it can be something as simple as she was just saying, doing a quick little 3-minute video on what 531 is. Or if you have one team member that's working, you don't really have a team page yet, do a voice message and say, hey, I just wanted to make sure you understood. I wanted to send you this video, but I want to make sure you understood what 531 is. Let me know if you've got any questions. It can be a one-on-one thing. It can be on your team page. It can be in a little small group thread. If you've got 2 or 3 people working the business and you put them in a thread together. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but just passing on this information. Making sure you share anytime you see a new video on follow-up, someone's different strategy, share that with your team member. Help them find, like Julia said, a system that works for them. I think it's the simplest part of our business. But for so many people, I think it's where they just don't, for some reason, they don't always go back to it. I think it's because you spend a lot of time looking for things that you can't find. And so as soon as people get a system in place, that it can be so much smoother. So I think sharing those tips and just taking that and translating it to your team page or to your team group message, things like that. Okay. All right, so I'll get self-development, which is the one of the 5-3-1, which I love. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here because I could go into like super nerd mode, but basically all that self-development is, it's not just, when people think this, they think, oh, I have to read all these books. If you love to read, then yes, you will love that part, but you don't have to just read books. You can listen to audiobooks. Self-development can be as simple as watching Julia do a 3-minute video on how to make a graphic, doing it, and then doing the same thing for your team. It's just about growing as a person, whether that is, not just in Plexus, but as a mom, as a wife, as as a believer, anything that you want to get better at, you need to spend time growing in, right? So for me, I love to read. I love to just get better at, especially things that just in Plexus, especially John Maxwell stuff. I just feel like it's so neat to use that and use it in my business, but also use it in how I'm teaching my children things too. So it can be books, it can be audio books, it can be a video of any of these things that we're talking about, a posting video that you thought was so helpful on posting on Facebook. Post that on your team page. Send it in a message with your team, or make one of your own. At Super Saturday, we listened to someone called Kendra Hall. She's so great at storytelling. And I realized, I need to be better about that. I really like analogies, and I have a lot of my team members that relate to analogies better. So I want to be better at analogies or storytelling. So I kind of listened to a few of her little 4-minute videos, y'all, and used it in something I did today. So self-development does not have to be reading. I do think you need to read at least 10 pages a day. Don't hate the teacher, but this is really, really important for you to grow. And then pass that along, whether it's a quick video, a post that you type up, a graphic that you make real quick that explains as long as you're sharing what you're learning, that is what your team needs from you. They need to see that you are investing in this business and you're investing and growing and becoming a better person at this. So it can be, again, self-development can be all of these things. Posting a product video, a Facebook video, a video about 5-3-1, a post about any of those things. It's just taking what you're learning and passing it on. Anything else, Julia?
No, I think that's good. Well, I guess I was going to say, actually, self-development is not something, I'm not Lindsay. It didn't come natural for me. If it wasn't the Bible or what I was reading in the Word, I probably wasn't reading it unless it was like Twilight. But vampires or Bible. However, I have learned, because I'm becoming a John Maxwell guru with Elder on my side, that, there is the law of the lid. You get to a point in leadership that if you do not grow, it's kind of one of those things like, if your cup's empty, you're going to have nothing to pour into others. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, I've hit the lid. And I realize, okay, I'm going to have to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to have to do stuff that might not be what I like to do. It's discipline. Let's think about when we discipline our kids. Our kids don't really love it at that time, but I know it's the best for me, and I know it's what's better for my team. And even just this year, we're reading as a team, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Honestly, I look at that book and I was like, oh, I don't really need that book. I have lots of friends, and I've obviously influenced a lot of people to join me. However, I have teammates that needed that book, and it didn't come natural, and I didn't know how to teach them. So then I start reading this book, and guys, y'all, it has totally transformed my thinking. I'm like, I needed that book. So I really challenge you to, even if it's not your thing, because I know a lot of you blues, a lot of y'all are out there, and you're thinking, I've never read a book a day in my life. I challenge you, take Lindsay's thing, challenge 10 pages a day, and you will be amazed at not only how much your team will grow, but how you will grow inside. So self-development is key. This kind of ends our discipline section, but discipline is not always the easiest thing. But with Plexus, we always say sometimes it's hard, but it's very simple. These 4 steps, products, posting, working the business, self-development, these are very simple things that are going to help grow your business. And this is what gets you, to the top. These 4 things right here. There's nothing much. Huh?
I was just
Yes.
saying, the cycle, I was just looking, it's these same things over and over again. It really is. Like every time you get a new person, you're teaching the same things over and over. I'm trying to get better at these same things over and over. It really is simple.
Yeah. So this quote says, the law of consistency. You want to read it, L. Rob?
Yes, I like this. Motivation gets you going. Get excited, you got your why. Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. To be successful, we must learn to become consistent. Discipline's the bridge. I love this part. The bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline's the bridge. And that bridge must be crossed every day. Instead of being goal conscious, focus on growth conscious. If you develop the habits of success, you'll make success a habit. I love that. It takes 21 days to make a habit and 21 days to break one.
Y'all, and I love that. Like, I know people will say, okay, I just want to be gold. I want to be a gold. But what if you really were thinking, okay, I just want to post consistently all month. I want to do self-development every day. I want a 5-3-1 every day. Like, if that was your goal at the end of the month, you probably would have created these, habits, and most likely you're going to reach that goal, because it's those actions that are going to help you reach the goal. Mm-hmm. Okay, character. That me? Yes. So leadership. I love this. Leadership is a potent combination of strategy and character. But if you must be without one, be without strategy. Character is everything. Do you want to go into this, Rob?
I love this because I think I could speak for most of us that say we have probably never done this before. This a network marketing company or many of us sales at all. And obviously we know this is sharing, not selling, but dealing with people and this kind of thing, this is all new with us, being in charge of people. So if you're like me, I wanted to learn, I wanted to get better. But honestly, what it all boils down to is your character deep down. And this quote, it fits so perfect right here. Okay, so there's a really, if you go to the next slide, Julia, there's a really good link that we can add to the end of this recording. We post on our team pages. It's like 27 minutes, y'all. I know it's long, but it is so worth it. You can watch it in little chunks if you have to. But these are the 5 levels of leadership by John Maxwell, and he kind of goes over each one at each stage, and it's such a great video. But basically, y'all, people in the beginning, you sign up someone, they follow you because they have to. You signed them up, they trust you, they got on board, they're doing what you're saying. And then it kind of goes into the next stage. People follow you because they want to. Okay, well, you've invested some time in me, you've really helped me. I'm following you because they want to. I will say getting from that first one to that next one, sometimes that can be the longest one. But basically, the pinnacle of what we want in leadership is what it says on the bottom. People follow us because of who we are and what we represent. So, character, we can give you all these tips. We can give you the strategy. We can tell you what works in the business, and we can say it until we're blue in the face. But if you and your character and your team do not trust you, and if you don't have integrity with them, then it's going to be you're going to be constantly stuck at one of those first 2. Does that make sense? So we didn't want to camp out here really, really long because we thought this is something that you probably just need to kind of chew on a little bit as far as, okay, what do I need to grow in? What do I need to become better at? And it was kind of too vague to go into specific things. But I want you just to think about this. People are going to follow you because of who you are and what you represent. So think about, what is my character? What do I represent? And I think on one of the next slides, Julia's got some really good words to kind of help her brain start thinking about character qualities. I'm just looking at someone's ambitious, unselfish. Wow, I want to follow someone that's unselfish, I want to follow someone that's positive. Goodness gracious. These are character traits that you really want to encompass as a leader. And so we just kind of had an idea. We really are, especially Julia, she's so action-oriented. Julia, you want to tell them your little takeaway for this?
I wanted to give you a little bit of homework or just an action step here because, these character traits, first of all, I'll say this kind of stepped on our toes. Like if we were sitting here, we're like, oh, can we really train on this? Because, I struggle with some of these, I'm not perfect. We have to give ourselves grace, but, obviously, none of us encompass all of these character traits. So I really want you to look at this and pick 2 that you really feel describe you. Like if somebody said, was describing Lindsay, what 2 words would they use for her? So what 2 words would somebody use? Maybe in your diamond dock, I always thought about that. Like, what are people going to describe me as? So think of the 2 words that you're like, I'm strong in this. But then also look for that one that maybe you need to work on. For me, it's just, I'm trying to look for it, like trustworthy. I mean, obviously, I don't go around just tell lies. I don't consider myself a liar. However, have been very bad at, saying, okay, I'll mail that to you tomorrow. And I get busy and I hate going to the post office. And then 2 weeks later, I still haven't mailed it. That's something I need to get better at. I want people to trust my word. And so that's like one that sticks out. I need to get better at being a person of my word, that when I say I'm going to ship something like a prize or sweatshirt, I do it the next day, or I have a system in place. Lindsay, can you think of some examples? Maybe.
Yeah, we talked about this today and we came up with several, but we thought we'd only just share 1 or 2. But yes, like doing a drawing. And again, like I know Julia obviously didn't mean to do it on purpose, and I didn't mean to say, oh, I'm going to say I'm going to do this, but I'm really not going to do it. These things just happen, y'all. And like she said, there's grace. But let's say there was a drawing on my team page. I said, hey, I'm going to do, I'm having a contest. I'm going to do a drawing on the 1st. And I didn't get to it the 2nd. Obviously, y'all, I know that I have sweet people and they understand my lifestyle, but I want to be excellent in all that I do when it comes to being with my integrity. So I know that's something I want to be better at. So I may say next time, if I know that my life may not allow me to get it done that day, I may say, I'm going to get this done by the end of the week. And that way I have a little bit more grace, and then I also have something I can hold myself to. So that one was, I think, some just examples that we thought of. But y'all take a screenshot of this with your phone if you need to. But I just thought, again, going back to that first quote that Julia said, there's so many character issues that we have a wonderful team. We're blessed. We have so many great qualities in us. But just think about those things that you're really, really strong at, and then finding that one that you think, I can be better at this. So.
And I just want to, the very last one thing where it says positive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would definitely kind of, think in your mind, like, am I a positive person? Would somebody say, because I'll tell you, the number one character I think, when I think of the new person I want to recruit, I want someone positive. I want someone that's going to be, the glass is half full, we're excited, again, excitements. So, as leader, I always say excitement's contagious. Positivity is contagious. So that's, some of these things aren't, they're not kind of negotiable, I think. Leaders have to have certain qualities, and I think positivity is one of them. But, again, you don't have to send me your words. If you want to send me your words, you can. But this is just something to get you thinking, just so that we're always growing and becoming better as leaders. So, culture. I love this quote. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Oh, I'll talk about culture for a minute.
I love this. Okay, so, all right, I'm looking at my, okay, so, all right, I love this part about Abraham Lincoln. I know many of my team members have heard this story. Okay, so Abraham Lincoln was not, in the beginning when he was in his military career, was not the greatest leader, y'all. He did not have a lot of influence, but he grew in it. And I think he grew in it because he, personal development, he grew in himself, and he created a culture around him. And we always say all the time, even Julia and I talked about this at, I think, convention last year. The reason I think our teams have such a great community with each other and are doing so well is because we have such a great team culture, and we've protected that team culture. We've kept it a safe, fun, exciting environment. It's not been a place for negativity to kind of simmer. It's been we really protected it. So we can give you all these skills all day long, but if you don't have a positive team culture, then the skills, again, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Such a cute quote.
Okay, so we're going to talk about culture in just kind of the 3 areas. So team page, we're going to talk about team pages. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So we're going to talk about, just the way your communication, your tones, the words you use, and then just knowing your team. The more you know your team, the better you're going to be able to create a culture that people enjoy to be with and they feel connected. So first up is team page. So you can, again, if you want to take a picture with your phone or something, these are just a few tips that Lindsay and I, we actually got it from another ambassador that she kind of gave some of these tips and we kind of added a few of our own. But first is you have to post daily. This is back to one of those disciplines. You need to be just as you're disciplined in your personal page. If you have a team page, you should be posting at least 1 time a day. Lindsay and I, we aim for 4, but again, we're in a different spot. But, and rotating the types of posts on your team page. Y'all, I see this a lot. A lot of y'all that are getting these teams, you're so excited, but then yet I'll see you post and you hadn't posted in like a week. And that can kill momentum for your team. So make sure you're consistently posting. Lindsay, how do you hit the different colors when you're posting?
Okay, so y'all know we love the colors. We actually got this from another diamond too. We understood the colors, but just translating to our team page, I thought was great. So are we posting fun, exciting, motivating graphics or fun little quotes, things like that to grab our blues' attention? Fun things. Are we posting great product information? Are we posting good nitty-gritty details about the comp plan for our greens? Are we posting great testimonies, how it's helping other people, trying to touch those yellows, how these products in the company can change people's lives, diamond docs, things like that. And we're posting really great, successful things like the comp plan possibilities, the monthly income, the big contests, things like that. Are we really hitting those reds, making sure that their kind of cup is full, trying to hit all the different areas? And Joy's, make sure I don't miss any, Joy. She has a really good rule of thumb about things to post. Something basic every day. Could be a product information or something to go about back office. A training video every day for those visual learners. So a training video, something motivational, something product, and then what's the other one? I always miss one. Product, video, basic, motivational. Business, maybe a business building. Oh, IPA, something IPA. So kind of rotating around all those posts, hitting all your different personalities. And like she said, keeping it fun and exciting. Everything needs to be fun and engaging, y'all, because this is fun. And we want to hit all those blue personalities.
Because the last thing you want is to be that kind of like, okay, I post on my team page. Get that off my list. Because your team's going to feel that. They're going to feel that in your culture. They're like, she's just posting, she copied and pasted what her upline posted. You can't copy and paste every single thing from your upline and put it on your team page, because then your people are going to be like, why am I on 3 team pages? They're all 3 posting the same thing. You've got to put your personality in it. You've got to put your leadership in it. We always say your team should see your face at least once a week. That means you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to have to make a video. You're going to have to do a Facebook Live even. I'm horrible at Facebook Lives, but you know what? It gets me out of my comfort zone. So make sure your team is seeing you, because, again, they joined your team. They might not even know me or Lindsay. They joined your team, so they want to be led by you. Keep it fun and exciting. Ask yourself, would this catch my eye? Y'all, this is a rule of thumb all over social media. Do not post something that you would have kept scrolling by and never looked at. So make sure you're thinking, okay, is this something that is helpful and beneficial? What is this caught out? Is this graphic blurry? Is this graphic clean lines? Is the grammar correct? I'm horrible at grammar, but do your best. Is it funny? Use funny things. Use those, what are those emoji bits or something? I don't know. Is that what they're called? Like, it's the fun girls? I don't know. But ultimate goal of the team page is to build community. Think about that for a minute. That is your ultimate goal. Your ultimate goal is not to teach them everything about the products, because guess what? You can do that in email and in back office.
Right.
Your ultimate goal is not to, get them to go fast gold. It's not to get them to rank up. It's to build community, because people want a place of community. So what are you doing on your team page to build that community?
Mm-hmm.
We say people work harder for praises and raises. Make sure your team page is full of you giving shout outs. If somebody got their first customer, woohoo, Lindsay got her first customer. If they hit $500 PV, give them a shout out. Anything that's going to make them feel special. I try to do the top 12 PV of every month. That I get a lot of great feedback from that. You just want to make sure you're always praising, and again, it's going to keep your people engaged. And you always have something to give a shout out for. If they whatever, if you're having trouble with that, we can kind of help you come up with a list of things to give people shout outs. Can you think of anything I'm missing, Lindsay?
I know that they're doing the mile markers right now, which are so great. That if you've made your Frank's list, if you shared their first post on Facebook is such a big thing. Share their why on Facebook. Made their Frank's list. Followed up with 20 people. There's lots of fun little things that I think we're gonna make a document that's just easy to follow. But any little thing like that, y'all, the little victories, I promise they build such big belief and they build so much excitement. And little things on how to build community. Sometimes I remember one post I made on my team page forever ago, and it was so much fun. It was, two actually. One was, how did you meet your upline? And just kind of tell a quick little story about how you met your upline. It was so fun to see how everybody knew each other. And then I did another time, like several months before that, how did you meet your spouse? And y'all, I had so much engagement, because what it is, people are longing to connect. And it's just a fun place to connect and build relationships. And today I did, what are you guys having for dinner? Just something that's engaging. Again, I don't do something like that every day, but just something to continually to make people feel involved. And like I said, the community, and make people feel engaged. So, any kind of little thing like that just to bring excitement. And I do think that posting product information and testimonies at least once a week is so, so big. I love reading testimonies. In fact, in the very beginning, for the longest time, I tried to have a testimony Tuesday. We do our building belief calls once a month. There's lots of testimony Zooms that you can find. Any kind of testimony is huge. Any kind of product information. And if you wanted to, like for example, I saw a really great idea or post about the X Factor today. But what I could do to catch I could take a picture on my team page with my X Factor and write those 2 or 3 little lines about it. That would catch my eye. It would post product information. It would be fun and exciting. So, and you could say, hey, let me see a selfie of you with your X Factor. Who takes X Factor? So that makes it fun and engaging. So there's lots of different ways y'all can make this happen. Non-Plexus post, I kind of talked about that, about just different things. I think Roz said even one time, she did something like, hey, y'all show me your, Rachel, take a picture of your slippers or your like silly jammies or something like that. Just sometimes silly things are just fun.